So we're going to be talking today about a ridiculously, amazingly, fundamentally, phenomenally stupid comment by Dave Rubin, as if all of his comments aren't anymore. But I apologize for no video, but I forgot about this story when I was recording the show, so I have to do it here. But it is very important. So what you're going to see here is a video of Dave Rubin trying to say that MLK would be a conservative by today's standards.
You know, I think about this stuff. I really do. I mean, this is what I do for my life. So I worry about what's happening in Western society, about whether our successes have led us to a place where we're just giving it up. Where young people think that socialism is cool, that this leftist nonsense is cool, that the oppression Olympics is cool, that suddenly segregating based on race is cool, that the ideas of Martin Luther King and JFK that were true liberals, the liberals that I believe in, that these ideas are becoming old school. Martin Luther King and JFK would most likely be conservatives by today's standards.
What you just saw, is him trying to actually... This dude had the gall to say that Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., would be a conservative by today's standards. So, let's break this down really quick, okay? Martin Luther King Jr. was a democratic socialist, a critic of capitalism, and I'm sure by some interpretations, possibly a communist even. So let's read some quotes. Here we go. He said, quote, "You can't talk about solving the economic problem of the Negro without talking about billions of dollars. You can't talk about ending the slums without first saying profit must be taken out of slums. You're really tampering and getting on dangerous ground because you are messing with folk then. You are messing with captains of industry. Now this means that we are treading in difficult water because it really means that we are saying that something is wrong with capitalism. There must be a better distribution of wealth, and maybe America must move toward a democratic socialism." Here's another quote. And one day we must ask the question, why are there 40 million poor people in America? And when you begin to ask that question, you are raising questions about the economic system, about a broader distribution of wealth. When you ask that question, you begin to question the capitalist economy. So clearly what you see from that is that this guy was a harsh critic of capitalism. If you could name me some conservatives who are borderline communist slash definite democratic socialists like me, I would be utterly shocked, right? I mean, it would be just unbelievably crazy. Plus, the idea that racism has completely been eradicated is very stupid as well. I mean, we see unarmed African Americans being killed. We saw Terrence Crutcher just killed recently, and the cop got off again. And we see all this different type of shit going on. And the idea that MLK would just be totally chill with what's going on today is completely bonkers. But here's another quote too. "Capitalism does not permit an even flow of economic resources. With this system, a small privileged few are rich beyond conscience, and almost all others are doomed to be poor at some level. That's the way the system works. And since we know that the system will not change the rules, we are going to have to change the system." Dude, that is not a conservative by any means. He literally said, I quote, "Change the system." Conservatism is the ideology of not changing, but retaining what you already have. It is the opposite of change. Therefore, by definition, he is not a conservative. So this idea is total bullshit. And anybody who hasn't done a shred of studying of Martin Luther King Jr. would have to say this, because you would have to be an utter moron to state something as ridiculously, utterly stupid as this.